amount of time into our squadron, and certainly it was not expected to do so. This is going to be presented, and I'll tell you his name right now, Major Michael Stacey. For those of you who don't know, Major Stacey is the Regional Cadet Advisor. So unlike me, which I only have one unit to worry about, Major Stacey has, how many units do you have, sir? 15 other cadet units to worry about. 15 cadet, air cadet, or sea cadet, or army cadet units across the city of Toronto. And he doesn't have an easy job. He's the guy that comes in when the CO messes up, or something bad happens to the unit. So he doesn't show up, teach a few classes, and go home. No, if something goes wrong at the unit, there's a problem with anything, or someone needs advice, or needs help on something, Major Stacey is the person that they report to, or that they seek help from. He reports directly to the Regional Cadet Officer, and the Regional Cadet Officer pretty much is responsible for everything cadet-related in the province of Ontario. Major Stacey has volunteered his time to come help our unit, Squadron Band. And like Mr. Jones said, our band has sort of been struggling over the past few years. We've definitely had a band in recent years, but certainly nothing that sounds as awesome and looks as awesome as these guys. So let's give them another round of applause. So I can't tell you anymore how much this individual means to myself and certainly the band and the squadron. So I'd like to call upon our drum major and our band officer to help make this presentation to Major Stacey.
I guess these photographers want some things to put on the wanted wall.
Facebook, sir. Call it that.
Thanks again, Justin. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Oh, here we go. I'll forget that.
So without further ado, I'd like to call upon our presiding officer for tonight to say a few quick words about the unit. Major Stacey.
Good evening, Captain John. Thank you for inviting me this evening. This is Christy from the sponsoring body. Ladies and gentlemen, staff and cadets, I am utterly moved at this moment. I was here a few years ago as the CO, and I can tell you that I wanted to plant a seed. And it's all about growth. In this program, you start out at a level, and the level is 1. And we saw tonight that we end up at this position, or we end up at level 4, or whatever we do, it is the best we do. And when I thought of planting that seed of let's grow the squadron, I didn't really see this. And I can tell you that I am completely moved and proud of all of you, and some of the people that are standing even in the squadron, and yet the staff were here when I was here. And it is outstanding to see Mr. Odette, Miss Bell, Mr. Betty, the drum major, to still be here doing what we said when I was here. And even better, and Captain John's leadership sprinkled throughout his staff has been fantastic. And something that he mentioned was talking about the warrant officer. And quickly, to give you some sort of analogy, I believe that greatness is perceived to be sometimes unreasonable. And what I mean by that is, if you think of, folks, the Olympic swimmer who gets up and has to go to swimming at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then swims and trains, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning is sitting in class paying attention and doing well. Then at lunchtime reviews the swimming for the evening that they go to. And they do that repeat and repeat. And that to you would be perceived to be unreasonable. If I asked you to do that, you'd say, "What you talking about, Willis?" However, think of what you do. You come here on a Wednesday night. You polish shoes. You iron your pants, your uniform. You have deadlines and time management. And some of you put out fires, conflict management. And some of you, all of you, become leaders. And if you were to sit next to the person tomorrow and ask them to do any of the things you've done this week, they would say to you, "What you talk about, Willis?" Because it's perceived to be unreasonable. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is greatness. And if you continue it, you will be great. And I strongly believe that this squadron is one of the greatest squadrons in Toronto, if not the best. And so lastly, I bring greetings from the Central Region Commander, Lieutenant Colonel McMillan, and our detachment commander, Major Lisa Burton. And will be pleased to go back to them with a glowing report of the status of 330 Squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
Thank you, Major Stacy. So at this point, we'll move on to some more informal stuff, our weekly announcements at the end of the parade. But I'd certainly like to echo what Major Stacy said. You guys are incredibly impressive, and I'm really satisfied to have, under my first command, such a strong group of cadets and staff members and committee members, and there's certainly nothing stopping you guys from making a huge positive impact on the city of Toronto. If we continue going the way we did this year, you continue coming out in this strong group of cadets, positive attitudes, enjoying coming out to cadets every Wednesday night, there's nothing stopping us from being a huge force in the city of Toronto and making an impact for the rest of our country. So thank you all for coming out over the past year and making it till your final official training night of the year. So we'll give them one final round of applause. So on to our announcement portion. This Saturday, what's happening? We all should know what's happening this weekend. Yes. Sylvia, yep.
Our annual review.
Yes, your 71st annual ceremonial review. This is the parade where everyone comes out and witnesses everything that you've learned over the past year. For the parents up there, like I said, it will certainly not be anything remotely close to what we did today. There's going to be a lot more performances and a lot more guests and a lot more dignitaries showing up. The cadets will look a lot better with their tunics on. There will be a lot more presentations happening as well. So it's definitely something that I invite all of you to come out to. Bring your friends, your family members. The more people we have in the community to support these guys, it's definitely going to have a bigger impact on them. So I strongly encourage you to come out with your friends and your family to support our cadets on Saturday. So we're meeting up this Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Make sure that you eat a breakfast. If you don't eat a breakfast, you're not going to have a good morning. So eat something that's actually nourishing, right? Something that will fill you up. Don't drink a lot of milk. Maybe we're going to do some drill. We're going to move around. You want to have a nice breakfast to give you that energy early in the morning. You're not going to show up in your uniform. You're going to come in civilian attire with your uniform in a bag, in a suit bag. Your boots shined, everything ready to go. You're going to look like Warrant Officer Sayed when you put your uniform. So Warrant Officer Sayed, the reason he's in his tunic tonight is because I want you to see what your uniform should look like. He goes to the very simple checklist in his head when he's packing his suit bag. He asks, is my wedge in my suit bag, my tie, my dress shirt, my pants, my tunic belt, my pants, or my boots, my socks, and my pant belt, and all his badges, and his medals, and his name tag. So you go through that same checklist when you're packing this Friday night, getting ready for Saturday morning. When you put on your uniform, it should look exactly like this. Your buttons are done up, you're looking in the mirror, your tie is pulled all the way up, your wedge is tilted to the right. The reason you need to look good, like I said, is because everyone is coming out to watch you, including our headquarters staff, our city councilor, and the superintendent of our police division. So it's very important that you look and feel good on Saturday morning. Is that understood? So we're meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. The parents and family members, all the friends are asked to show up for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There will be lunch provided, and we'll have a reception afterwards as well. I'll turn it over to the staff for any announcements. Captain Harris?
Sir, if you received a trophy tonight or a certificate, make sure you come to this table and pick up your keeper trophy to take home with you now.
Thank you, Captain Marciano.